Do
Well,
you?
yeah. Well, his comments. I mean, he was having difficulty working with you, and he was always being in an argument with you. And the only time your name ever came up was when he was mad at you. And so in that mental framework, in other words, he's not going to recommend that I go contact you or try to get me to work with somebody he's having difficulty with. So that's why I don't think he ever recommended that I contact you. So that's that.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I love him no matter what, but everybody knows that. I guess not everybody in the world can get along with me. I'll admit I'm very low maintenance, but when it comes to levels of intelligence, trying to convince me of your way of thinking, I'm pretty hard-headed. I'm a Capricorn, Aquarian rising.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think logical, and I'm very trained left brain. I mean, come on. I went to law enforcement, psychology, criminal justice, forensics. I went. Who, what, when, where, why, finding a fact. Just get the facts, ma'am. So when I started working, I never even read a fiction book when I was a child. My mother thought she said how sad, and this was after I was already grown and going to college. And Mother was very upset because in my English and psychology, we didn't talk about all the things I took an English class. She was real proud of me, and she had one of my papers, but she was very upset. So I didn't really study science fiction. Now, in '69, when Star Trek came out, I realized that was a big deal, but I was a NASA nerd, so that sort of worked for me. So I would say I'm more of an egghead than a hippie. Janet and Sasha are hippies. And I just didn't go down that path. So where were you during that time, during NASA? Were you a NASA nerd or were you a hippie?
I was definitely not a hippie. I was more a nerd, if anything. I had a pocket protector and slide ruler in that pocket protector. So
okay.
That pretty much defines me, okay? Even though I hung out with warmongers in college, undergraduate, all of my roommates that were assigned to me were in ROTC, and they're all just couldn't wait until they could get into some war. And I just couldn't imagine that. But at any rate, that was...
well, you didn't wear a uniform? Well,
nope,
you were too smart, I guess you could say. I had to get in a uniform. I had to. I know, in the Vietnam War, I don't know, I was programmed that way. I wanted to go to war. My cousin Bruce, believe it or not, did, and he wrote me from Vietnam. His name was Bruce, and I wanted to go so bad, but the government wouldn't let me. I had NASA papers and stuff, but I had kids too, so I had to wait 20 years until my kids were grown. Now, I did get to go over to Balboa, and they signed me up as a corpsman, so I always thought, well, that's strange. I was a rehire. But the girls, when I went through boot camp, said, you don't remember what they do to you. So I always wondered, what did they do to me? But I try to remember everything that went on. So you never wore a uniform, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine at all?
No, I basically was rejected medically. So even though they tried to draft me, I didn't make it.
You're a flat foot or heart. I think that's about the only two things. You're flat-footed or you had a heart something. Did they tell you what it was?
Yeah, they told me. I don't want to talk about it on the air. So it's
oh, okay. That's back in the day, huh?
Yeah, back in the day.
Okay, I understand. I totally understand. Well, that's okay. Well, so you've known about me, but why didn't you pick up the phone and say, TJ, let's talk? It just wasn't time, right?
Well, it sort of scared me when Tommy said you were having this organization at that organization at that organization. I said, wow, this seems like a lot bigger than what I can handle. So I never follow through. I was thinking about it, and you're on Facebook, correct? So
a few 20 times.
I should have run into you, and I think I did complete a friend's request for you. Okay, I'm sending you right now on your TJ Morris Agency Gmail account three pictures that I have of Tommy back when I knew him in the
Aw.
90s. Okay.
Thank you.
So,
I love him, and he's
yeah.
family. We have the Ohana family, whether he wants to admit it or not, and Janet too. But they're both two of my best friends, and it sounds Southern saying that, but it's true, folks. I love them, and I always will. And they're doing their own thing now, and that's okay. And that's why I'm calling it the Allied Command. She actually liked that name. But Ken Johnston, from NASA days, Houston days. You lived in Houston, but Ken and her couldn't get along on the same night, on the same show. And he quit me on Thursday, and so I invited him back to have his own show on Fridays. So that's how I worked it out. Because he said me and Janet are two alpha females, and we talked over each other, which we do. So I can't have Janet and Tommy and me. We started out pretty good together, but we all went our own separate ways. It's hard. You can have one person interviewing or one person talking about what they're going to have, but you were a total surprise tonight. So you're my advanced communication agency. So I have to separate everybody until I figure out, like Tommy told you, this organization, that organization, where you'll fit in, because it is a personality problem. To be honest, haven't you ever? Well, you said you couldn't get along with somebody. Bigelow, wasn't it? Because you weren't an engineer,
Right.
so you understand what I'm saying, right?
Right. Yeah. And the interesting thing is that whoever set me up to work for NIDS wanted me to get that experience and contact with people like Hal Putoff, Eric Davis, Colm Kelleher, and all of that group, which are all associated with To the Stars Academy and all of the information that's coming out now. Yeah. All of that. Yes.
Well, tell me about it.
So I
know the guy that started it's a musician, and I checked him out in Delaware, and he started a company there, but he's got a franchise on his music and all that, so he formed a company in California. You know, remember, I'm an investigator. I come from a long line of attorneys.
You're not talking about Tom DeLonge.
You're
not talking
you
about
said
Tom
it first.
DeLonge. Okay.
Another Tom.
Here's the wild part. This is something I've been wanting to tell you. That my last name is spelled Cornet, Cornet. It's the same spelling as the musical brass instrument, okay? The cornet.
That's what I play. That's what I play, the cornet.
Right, and I played the trumpet in elementary and middle school and high school. The cornet is also a special type of robe that nuns wear, special robe, white robe that nuns wear. So it essentially refers to a crown, okay? And the interesting thing is that corn in ancient languages means horn, okay? And I always thought, well, this is a strange name that I should end up with, TJ. Corn E.T.
Corn E.T. Well, I played the trumpet too, so I get what you're saying. But yeah, I love the study of words and symbols, and you're pretty smart. So you're pretty cool, and you're just going to be in my ACO club till we can figure out where we're going to put you. But you are an advanced communication agency, and I have to admit that's a pretty high calling to be in the advanced.
1995, when you were inducted into your organization, were you fitted for an outfit, a uniform? Do you recall?
Yeah.
You were.
Which one?
Well, when I was inducted into the Caledonians, I was given fitted for one of their outfits, which was really strange. It was, it is largely red and black like the officers on Star Trek, but not the same pattern.
I wear black and red too. I've got a black and red uniform.
Wow. Yeah, theirs is quite unique uniform, and those are the colors along with a gold or white that is pinstriping on it, and but
I don't
that
have
was
any pinstriping. I had black and red all when my kids were growing up, but then I had one that I went to Star Trek in Tennessee, Knoxville or something, or was it Memphis, Tennessee? But that's where Bill M. Tracer comes in. So So did you track me through data, or did you? I don't understand how we're together if it's not through Tommy Sinisi. But I learned a lot about Janet and Tommy of how many people they did not invite. So this organization did not grow because
you came up on
neither.
You came up on Messenger on Facebook. I got a request that you saying, would you like to be on my show? And that was it, So I don't know
how. That was on LinkedIn, though, right? Because I thought you got in touch with me on LinkedIn.
Yes,
and I believe in this stuff.
Yes,
because I've had...
Yes, LinkedIn. And LinkedIn was the first one. And yes, excuse me, that was where I made contact with you because I wrote to you. And then you wrote back to me and saying, would you like to be on your show? So, yes, that was LinkedIn where there was a message that's how I found
we were already
you.
Together.
Because they're all, they were LinkedIn has, puts up, says, have you met this person, and have you met that person? This person wants to be friends with you. It's the same as with Facebook. And I saw your name, I recognized it, so I said yes, and I clicked on that, and then the next thing I know, I got 2 messages from you, and one was to say hi, and the second was, would you like to be on my show? And I wrote back to you, or responded. And then I think I did
That's
it on
amazing.
Facebook as well. So.
Yeah, but what's so funny is I don't think we knew each other from this history that's been created for us back to 95, which is actually when I met my husband. And I've already spent 20 years and back with him. Isn't that interesting? 20 years and back.
So, right.
20 years on this planet. He went back.
When did he pass? What year?
He passed December 2nd, 2015. I got him for 20 years.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, so the 20 years and back isn't so weird with Corey Good saying it. But Corey, I think the problem with his statement of fact may not be statement of fact. So I don't know how much of his is implanted or memory codes. I'm getting data from different people, but I like Corey, and I've seen him in his Texas National Guard uniform, right? And I'm all for veterans, so I don't know if he's a veteran, but I've seen him in his uniform on the planet. I haven't seen him off planet that I can recall. But when I used to track his first story or when he wasn't talking, it was totally different than when he was talking. But who knows? Everybody's story grows with time and how they remember data over time. But sometimes what I've learned between David Walker, is it David Walker or is it David Wilcock? David Wilcock was tracking back.
Wilcock.
Yeah. He was tracking back in the Ascension days when we were just writing it. But I have some stuff from the 70s and 80s I was given by attorneys. And then the guy that wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, John Gray, his mother ran the store that I went to in Houston near Rice University. And then the other guy, wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. But he was in a group. Anyway, there's a long story to how we got to where we are now, including Stephen Halpern. And I went to Africa and flew over the gold mines. That was fun. Went to the largest country club in the world in Cape Town. That was fun. And then went to UK, Africa, Spain, Portugal. I've had a lot of fun. And now we're talking about Sacure and Bob Dean. We're out of time, but can you clarify if you ever met Bob Dean or not, Robert Dean?
Yes, I did. I met him in Philadelphia, I believe, when he was there.
All right,
back,
I'm going to have to have you.
Yeah, that was an amazing meeting.
Well, do you want to come on tomorrow night's show? It's the same time, 6 to 8. We're supposed to have an alienologist journalist. I'm just going to train Dave Emmons. He's been on several shows, but his degree's in journalism. But he's going to help us organize a guide for alienologists. And Tommy's got a little book on how to see UFOs, promoting for $1. So I don't know if Tommy will be on. But you're welcome to come back tomorrow and start where you left off if you'd like to. But think about it. And
I'll think about it.
we're out of time.